Oh dear. So it has arrived. The day that everyone has been waiting for. Welcome, it's another English Addict Live. And yes, we are now broadcasting to the whole world across Europe from the birthplace of the English language. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope so. Here we are then. We are once again live across YouTube and I'm feeling okay. I must admit, it is nice to feel well again. I've been ill for the past few days. I was with you, of course, on Wednesday and yes, I feel great today. Lots of reasons for feeling good. Also, one or two reasons for not feeling so good. So here we go. I hope your week has been good. We have made it all the way to Friday. Yes, today is Friday, but it's no ordinary Friday because today it's Brexit Day. There might be a few fireworks going off over the next few hours. Some people letting fireworks off because they're happy and some may be letting them off because they are not so happy. As you can see, yes, there it is in the corner of the screen. We are counting down to Brexit. It's happening. Today is the day when it's all going to start. It's going to begin. So today we officially leave the European Union. We will officially depart. It will happen today. So the United Kingdom and also the European Union will part company. They will go their separate ways as we say goodbye to the European Union and we become once again independent, whatever that means. So welcome to For many people in the UK, it's a special day. For some people, it's not so special. Some people might say it's the opposite of special. So here we go on Brexit Day, just another 8 hours and 50 minutes before the UK officially leaves the European Union. What do you think about it? Are you excited to see the UK leave? Maybe you couldn't care less, for which I probably wouldn't blame you, to be honest. So here we are on Brexit Day. It is official. It is happening today. There is no way of stopping it. We cannot stop it now. It is happening. So in just around about 8 hours and 49 minutes, it will be official. We will actually leave the European Union. However, there will be many months of negotiations, of people talking, sitting down in big rooms, looking very angry at each other. So there is still a long way to go before it's officially happening. So maybe not until the end of this year, it will feel more like Brexit has occurred. However, today is when it officially starts. It's already been signed into British law, so there is no going back, apparently. That's what we keep being told. We can't stop it. There is no going back. From today, Brexit is a reality. Oh dear. A lot of people ask, Mr. Duncan, where do you broadcast from? I actually broadcast from the United Kingdom, and this is a kind of clue, I suppose. So you might think I am being very jingoistic waving this flag, but it's also a very good way of indicating where I am actually broadcasting from. So I am broadcasting from the United Kingdom, soon to depart from the European Union. Only a few more hours to go, and then it's all happening. Today we are talking about words and phrases connected to the word leave, I suppose. It seems like a good opportunity when you think about it. So, leaving. Today we will leave the European Union. There was a big vote that took place way back in 2016. Do you remember 2016? It seems like such a long time ago now. It's in the back of my memory. However, since then, we've been talking about leaving Europe for nearly 4 years. This has been going on. So to be honest with you, a lot of people are quite relieved that all of this will be coming to an end. However, it won't be, because there are many negotiations, many things that have to be ironed out, sorted out. Lots of agreements have to be taken into consideration. So one group of people will sit down, another group will sit down, and they will try to work out all of the agreements. Something they were talking about yesterday on the news, something that seems very innocent, something that we probably don't think about very often. Fish. Who would have thought fish would be such a contentious issue? But it is one of the big issues that people are talking about. Where can you fish? Where can you catch your fish? What is the UK fishing area? Where is it? Where can Europe fish for their fish? Where can we fish for our fish? So there is a bit of a fish war about to take place. One of the many disagreements that I'm sure will be taking place over the next few months as we enter a new realm here in the UK. We enter the period known as the Brexit transition. Ooh. So here in the UK, we have all decided to undertake a transition. We are going from one thing to another. No, I didn't say that I'm having a transition. Nothing like that. As far as I know, anyway. Oh, the live chat is very busy. Thank you very much for joining me on this very special day, because we will be leaving the European Union later today. You may have heard about it. Of course, there is something else that people are talking about. Can you guess what it is? I will give you a clue. Oh yes, there we go. The coronavirus, which is being talked about a lot around the world. Of course, in China, a lot of people now panicking, feeling very afraid. Many British citizens and people from other countries who are working in China are now trying to get out of China. And of course, the coronavirus has now spread to other countries as well. So let's have a look once again at what we need to know about the coronavirus. Well, all you need to know right here, so this is what is being put out at the moment by many of the health authorities. Coronavirus are large groups of viruses that are common among animals. So this is interesting. So the coronavirus normally exists among animals. By that we mean animals other than human beings. In rare cases, they are what scientists call zoonotic, meaning they can be transmitted from animals to humans. The viruses can make people sick, usually with a mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illness. So when we talk about respiratory, we are talking about the area responsible for breathing. So what helps you to breathe? Your lungs and all of the tubes connected to your lungs. And apparently the illness is very similar to a common cold. So many of the symptoms are very similar to having a cold. And now we have cases of the coronavirus also here in the UK. More information. Would you like some more information? Okay, I will give you a little bit more information. How it spreads. Human coronaviruses most commonly spread from an infected person to others through the air by coughing and sneezing. Close personal contact, such as shaking hands or touching other things, maybe touching an object or surface with the virus on it when touching your mouth, nose or eyes before washing your hands. So yes, you might have the virus on your fingers and then you wipe your eyes or you put your fingers near your nose. And this is a strange one. Rarely fecal contamination. So you can get coronavirus from poo, apparently. How? I don't know. Who is touching other people's poo? I mean, come on. Who is doing that? There are symptoms. So the signs of coronavirus include runny nose, headache, cough, sore throat, fever, feeling or the feeling of being unwell. For those with a weakened immune system, and this is where many of the fatalities are actually taking place, very sadly. So there are groups of people who are very vulnerable to the coronavirus becoming something else. So for those with a weakened immune system, the elderly and the very young, there's a chance the virus could cause a lower and much more serious respiratory tract illness like pneumonia or bronchitis. So pneumonia and bronchitis are very serious illnesses that can be fatal in the elderly and also the very young as well. So many of the people who appear to be succumbing or dying are actually elderly. People over a certain age or people with a pre-existing condition, something they are already suffering from that is making them weak. There are currently no vaccines available to protect you against the human coronavirus infection, even though last night on the television, apparently there is a British pharmaceutical company that is working on a vaccine. So you can reduce the transmission by washing your hands often with soap, avoiding touching your eyes, nose or mouth with unwashed hands. Oh. If you are mildly sick, keep yourself hydrated, drink plenty of water, stay at home and rest. If you are concerned about your symptoms, you should see your healthcare provider. So there it is. Some interesting words there as well. So that's the reason why I decided to do that and explain that to you, because there are some rather nice words, some interesting words as well used to express the current situation concerning the coronavirus. It would appear that those who are dying have already got some sort of illness, or maybe they are elderly, so they are already in a weakened state. And let's not forget that flu kills thousands and thousands of people every year. However, fortunately, there is a vaccine for flu. So fortunately, the death rate from flu is much lower than it used to be. However, there is a chance that if the coronavirus spreads to other countries, maybe countries where the healthcare systems are not so good, it could cause major problems. And I think that's the main reason why people are panicking. So they are panicking not because of it arriving in, I would say, places like the USA and also the UK, but also countries where the healthcare is not so good. So I think the prevention is better than the cure. As I said the other day, it is much better to prevent something than to actually have to find the cure. So I think that's a very good thing to mention. So hello to the live chat. Oh yes, Sweetness Mitra. Congratulations, you are once again first on the live chat. Congratulations to you. It's Brexit Day. Are you excited for Brexit Day? It's the day when we officially leave the European Union. That's all I'm saying for now. We're going to look at a video lesson that I made way back in 2016 where I explained all about the situation concerning not the coronavirus, but Brexit. It is a lesson I made many years ago, just after the referendum took place, and we will be looking at that in a few moments' time. Hello also to Suzy. Hello to Dimuse. Hello also to Vitas, watching in Lithuania. Nice to see you here today. Also to Mohit, Hongli, Ali, Mogmog. Hello, Mogmog. I like your name, by the way. It's very interesting name. Belarusia is here today. Nice to see you here as well. I think the weather today here in the UK is really suitable. It's a little bit dull, a little bit murky. And we had quite a few showers this morning. We had some rain falling. So there is the view right now. So that's what the United Kingdom looks like now, before we leave the EU. So there it is. Take one last look at the United Kingdom. They're the view from my window before we officially leave the European Union. It will be happening later today. Are you happy? Well, are you? We're looking at words and phrases connected to leave, to things connected to leaving, to going away. If you leave, you go. There are many words and phrases connected to it. Ooh, I have something exciting to tell you now. Would you like to have a little look at my new website? There is a new website coming. It is exclusive. It is only for those who want to learn English. It is especially for you, all of you English addicts watching out there in YouTube land. So would you like to have a look? So here it is. This is it. The exclusive first view of my actual website. And this is something that will be published officially on Sunday. So this Sunday, the Sunday that is coming, that is approaching us right now, it will be available. Would you like to have a look at the page though? Here it is. Here is the front page of my new website. Now, there might be some slight changes made over the next couple of days, but this is basically what it looks like, so you get an idea of what it looks like. Would you like to see it? Okay. And there it is, the new website. And as you can see, it is called English Addict. And there is a beautiful face of... Oh, there is my lovely face. Isn't that nice? So there, a very quick view of my new website. And there is the home page. So this is just one of the pages from my new website. And you can see it features some of my video lessons. There are other sections as well, other parts of the actual website. So there it is, a first glimpse, a first look at my new website. It will be revealed for the first time to the world on Sunday. So from Sunday, it will be available. Well, it'll be available to everyone, really. Yes, it's happening finally. Finally, the new website is almost ready. It has taken me a long time to do it because I've had to do all of the work myself. I didn't pay anyone to do it. I did it all on my own. So I hope it is successful. I really do. Hello. Hello to Abbas. Mr. Duncan, please be honest. Are you happy with Brexit? Well, I didn't vote for it. I didn't. I did not vote for Brexit. I voted not to have Brexit, to be honest. I was not a big fan of it, not because I knew what was going to happen, but because I didn't know, for the opposite reason. So I never thought that I was an expert. I never thought that I knew exactly what would happen if we left the European Union. However, because I didn't know, I didn't think that it was worth taking the risk. And of course, everything up until 2016 hadn't been too bad, to be honest with you. Yes, we had a recession, but then many countries around the world were suffering recessions, not only in Europe, but other parts of the world as well. So there were many reasons why people voted to leave Europe, and there were many reasons why people decided that they wanted to stay. So I voted to remain only because I didn't really fully understand what would happen afterwards. And as it turns out, nobody knows. So maybe that's the reason why I did it. I felt very cautious. I felt a little hesitant. I wasn't keen on voting for it. And there you go. I think I can be upfront and honest. I always try to be honest whenever I can. Oh, I like your website. Congratulations, dear Mr. Duncan, dear teacher. Thank you, Sweetness. Well, yes, it will be available on Sunday. So that is when I will actually be publishing the website. So at the moment, it doesn't exist. As far as the internet is concerned, the website doesn't exist. So it is not working at the moment. Marina says it looks very nice, your new website. Thank you, Marina. What a wonderful surprise for your students, Eliana. Thank you very much. Well, this is something I've been working on for the past 3 months. And because I've been doing it myself, I've had to learn how to create a website. So I've had to learn lots of things, lots of new skills that I didn't have before. So that's what I've been doing whilst I've been trying to do my lessons and my live streams as well. So I have been a student. You might say that I've been a website developer student for the past 3 months. So it's taken up a lot of my time. I've had many sleepless nights worrying about my new website. I have to be honest with you. Hello to Florence. Hello, Luis Mendez. Bonjour, Luis. We will be saying adieu later, unfortunately, as we say goodbye to Europe or the European Union. I suppose technically we are still in Europe, but politically and as far as trade is concerned, we will be kind of apart. It's very confusing, isn't it? Now you can see why I voted to remain, because I didn't really understand it, and I wasn't going to pretend to understand it. So there, you can't get much more honest than that, can you really? That's a pretty honest answer, to be honest. Hello, Marina. Hello, Anna. Hello, Jamelia. Hello also to Zuzika. It seems like a very useful place to learn English. Well, you will be able to find all of my video lessons much easier. There will be other things on there as well. Some new words. There will be also some things on there that won't be available on my YouTube channel. There you go. Are you interested now? Are you intrigued? I really hope so. Palmyra is here. Also Rosa. Boys and girls, don't forget to give a big thumbs up to Mr. Duncan. Yes, why not? Go on. Like and subscribe. Go on. It's Brexit Day. You have nothing to lose. So give me a lovely thumbs up. And if you like what you see, because this is live right now, you can also subscribe and you will never miss another one of my live streams ever again. Never again will you miss anything that I do. Broken Boy, Pedro, what is the best way for learning to dance? I love to dance. Well, a lot of people have a natural ability to actually dance. They have natural rhythm. A lot of people say I'm very good at dancing. It's true. I think so. Pachu, sir, what do you think of the departure of Meghan and Prince Harry? To be honest, I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. And most people in the UK couldn't care less. It's the media that is bothered about it. But to be honest with you, most people really couldn't care less. We are too busy trying to sort our own lives out, to be honest. Did you know that Prince Harry is not Prince Harry? Did you know it's not his real name? He's not really called Harry. It's true. It's not his real name. I bet you didn't know that. His real name is Henry. His real name is actually Henry. You can look it up if you don't believe me. Hello, Eric. You are very smart, Mr. Duncan. I'm not sure if I'm smart. I never say that I'm intelligent. I never say that I am super smart. My brain is an average brain, nothing special. Sometimes I like to think about things. Sometimes I'm accused of telling other people what to think. However, that's not what I do. What I do is I tell people to think, which is a different thing altogether. So I would never tell you what to think. However, I would always encourage you to think, which is very different. Hello also to Musika Nguyen. Hello to you as well. Hello, Christina. I believe we are living in a time of confusion around the world. There is a lot of confusion, and I suppose over the past few weeks things have got worse because now we have this coronavirus going around the world. In China, people are coming up with some very interesting ways of protecting themselves. Have you seen the photographs of people in China wearing some very interesting things on their heads? So here are some of the pictures. Apparently this is something that's happening now. People are improvising. They are finding different and new and exciting ways of protecting themselves from the virus that is now currently spreading in China and also to the rest of the world. I'm not sure if putting plastic bags over your children's heads is a good idea. I really don't think that's a good idea. Please do not put a plastic bag over your child. You might find that there might be a slight problem if you do that. Nor, I suppose, should you put a bottle over their heads either. So some very interesting photographs coming out of China. Now, I'm assuming that these are from China. However, they can't be verified. But some very unusual ways of protecting yourself from the coronavirus. So these look like large water containers that they have just cut the bottoms off. So they've removed the bottoms of the bottles and then just stuck them over their heads. But to be honest, I think that might be worse because you might get lots of condensation and moisture inside the bottle, which might cause even more problems. So I'm not sure if doing this is a good idea, to be honest. I think maybe it's best just to stay indoors, maybe wear a mask and stay away from other human beings. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that one. That reminds me, by the way, of my time in China. Yes, when I was in China, I also had to walk around wearing a mask as well. There I am, way back in 2003, when I was living in China, and it was during the SARS crisis. Who remembers SARS from 2003? So I was actually in China at the time of the SARS outbreak. But I didn't leave China. I decided to stay behind. So I didn't actually leave. I wasn't evacuated. And I suppose another interesting thing to mention is that way back in 2003, the way we interacted with each other was very different. There was no social media. So we didn't have social media in 2003. There was no Twitter, no Facebook. There was no YouTube. So during the SARS crisis in 2003, the way in which it was reported was very different. So you didn't have social media. However, this time there is social media. So during my time in China, I did stay there and, well, I just decided to ride the storm. And I was perfectly all right. So I didn't become ill and nothing bad happened to me. Thank you to Sophia. Thank you so much, handsome teacher. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much. Why such photos of plastic bottles or plastic covering on the heads of people? Well, these are things that are actually existing on the internet, and I was quite intrigued to see them. Now, some people have said that they are fake photographs, that they're not actually real photographs. However, they are still interesting to look at. And also maybe not something to try, because I think it might make things worse, to be honest. How can I improve my English skills, especially my listening skills? Well, you are in the right place right now. Here, you can improve your listening skills. Try to listen to as much English as you can. Maybe you can spend time every day learning and listening to English. So listening is something that you improve slowly over time. Slowly over time. Pat Chu says, which animal has transmitted the coronavirus? They still don't know. Officially, they have no idea. However, people on the internet, suddenly everyone is a health expert. So many people are saying that the coronavirus came from bats or other animals. However, no one actually knows at the moment. They know it has come from another animal. They know it has come from an animal, but they're not sure what or which animal it is. They will suffocate themselves wearing those bottles over their heads. Well, that is another thing, isn't it? Yes. I'm not sure if it will improve their health. It might make it worse. Nestor, they are going to suffocate. Yes, they are. I think if you put something over your head, like a plastic bag or a bottle, there is a good chance that you might suffocate. So they're not 100% sure. They think it may have come from an animal at a market in China. But they're still not entirely sure. In fact, there was a guy yesterday in China, one of the health officials, who still doesn't know where it actually originated. So a lot of people on the internet, especially on Twitter, because everyone is a health expert on Twitter, everyone's saying that it's from a bat. But at the moment, people don't really know. Christina says you were very courageous, risking your health in China way back in 2003. I suppose so. But then, as I said the other day, I'm young. I was young then. So in that photograph that you just saw, I was a very young person. Maybe some people might say foolish. So there, I was way back in 2003. And I didn't leave. I stayed behind, even though people were becoming infected with SARS and ill, and some people were dying. However, I decided to stay behind. One of the other reasons, of course, was because I didn't want to go to an airport with lots of people and get on a plane with lots of people. You may not know this, but on an aeroplane, all of the air that is inside the aeroplane is actually recirculated. It goes round and round. So you are basically breathing in the same air for 13 hours. So I decided to stay behind in China, and I decided to take the risk. Would I do the same now? Probably not. So we are talking about Brexit today. Brexit, we officially leave the European Union in 8 hours and 17 minutes. It will be official. We will officially leave the European Union. So I thought it would be interesting to take a look at one of my lessons where I talk all about Brexit and the reason why we are doing what we are doing today. Unless you've been living under a giant rock for the past 12 days, you will no doubt know that things have been, let's say, a little turbulent over here in UK land. On the 23rd of June 2016, the good folk of the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union, otherwise known as the EU. As for its history, the original intention of the EU was to join nations in Europe together as a coalition of free trade and movement, a sort of European club, so to speak. The original EU was in fact called the European Economic Community, which was formed in 1967. The UK originally became part of this club in 1973, during a period when the Conservative Party was in power. 2 years later, a referendum was held that allowed the population to vote on whether or not the UK should stay in the EEC. A resounding 67% of the voters say they wanted to remain. This was after a renegotiation had been called for by the Labour Party, who had come to power the year before, in 1974. The next 41 years would see many upsets and renegotiations as the rules were altered, quite often in the UK's favour. A good example being the opt-out of the single European currency, the euro. To this day we still cling on to our hallowed pound, which some say has helped Britain become one of the strongest financial marketplaces in the world. But like all currencies, it has had its ups and downs. There has for some time been a mistrust of the EU for many reasons, both real and imagined. From the draconian rules enforced on such things as the correct shape of bananas and the brightness of light bulbs and how much suck a vacuum cleaner should have, through to the growing concept of a link between UK immigration and economic decline, mainly related to the free movement of people across Europe. And so it came to pass during the run-up to the 2015 UK general election. The Conservative leader, David Cameron, announced that should his party win the next election, a referendum would be held to decide whether or not the UK should remain in the EU. He did go on to win, and sticking to his word, he announced later that a referendum would be held in 2016. The rest, as they say, is recent history. So, how did this vote come about? Some see this move as a gamble, the theory being that the offer of a referendum
was done so as to assure a majority win and a further term in office for the Conservatives and Mr Cameron. There are those who now think that the decision was made with the assumption that the EU vote would go to the Remain group. If that turns out to be true, then the gamble most definitely did not pay off. The British exit from the EU became known as the Brexit. Each side of the argument put their views and opinions across during the run-up to the Brexit referendum, with economic instability and fears over immigration being raised a number of times during debates. Both sides made strong, if not slightly alarmist cases for their own stance on whether or not to stay in the European Union. Those wishing to leave became known as Brexiters or Brexiteers. Those wanting to stay became known as Remain or Remainers. On the night of the referendum itself, it seemed as if the Remain vote might have the edge, for a short time at least. But by the early hours of Friday morning it became clear that the vote had gone the Brexiteers' way, and the UK would in fact be leaving the EU. Needless to say, the result did not go down well for some people, as the margin between both sides had been so narrow, with 48% voting to remain and 52% wishing to leave. As the dust begins to settle after this latest national referendum, the after effects will be felt for some time to come, not least of all with the resignation of David Cameron and the scrabble to find a new leader, and with that a new Prime Minister. Then there is the obvious divide that has now split the country down the middle. In the not too distant future, it would seem that a general election is on the cards, and then the slow process of extracting the UK from the EU will begin. It is estimated that it will take 2 years to reach any sort of settlement. Another effect of the impending Brexit is the likelihood of the Scottish Parliament pushing for independence, which will, ironically, create a division between England and Scotland. In the future, Wales could also push for independence, as well as the possibility of a call for the reunification of Northern and Southern Ireland, all of which has led some Brexiteers to have second thoughts about whether to leave Europe or not. Of course, the vote has taken place, and the upshot is that by the end of 2018, the UK will no longer be a member of the European Union. Meanwhile, here in 2016, it is too early to tell exactly what the outcome will be. One thing, however, is certain. UK politics will be a lot more interesting over the next few days, months, and quite likely, years to come.
Well, that's got rid of quite a few viewers. Dear. There it was, a lesson I made many years ago, all about Brexit. Oh dear. I will say something. We live in very strange times. Have you noticed? Things are a little bit weird at the moment in the world, especially when we have things like this going on. Everyone is afraid of the coronavirus, and of course it is a serious thing. It might seem as if I'm joking, but I'm not. But we do have to be careful. Don't forget to wash your hands. And please, if you go near any animals, do not have unprotected contact with them. Whatever that means. What are you doing? So Brexit is arriving in just over 8 hours and 8 minutes. And to celebrate, well, guess what? We are going to have a new coin. Oh, isn't that nice? So there is a new coin that will be released over the next few days. It says peace, prosperity and friendship with all nations. It's a very strange way of showing it by telling everyone to bugger off. Don't you think so? So I must admit, I'm not sure if I agree with the sentiment on that coin, to be honest. But apparently this is the coin. It is a 50p coin, and apparently it is going to be released to commemorate Brexit. Peace, prosperity and friendship with all nations. You may have noticed, by the way, there is a comma missing. There should be a comma next to and. So just before and, there should actually be a comma. Lots of people were complaining about this week. During the week, they were saying there has to be a comma before and. And this particular comma is called the Oxford comma. Have you ever heard of the Oxford comma? Apparently some people become very angry and they get quite irate if you miss the Oxford comma out of a sentence. So what is the Oxford comma? The Oxford comma is a comma used after the penultimate item in a list of 3 or more items. So it comes before and or. For example, an Italian painter, sculptor and architect. You can see that just before the word and there is a comma, and that is what they call the Oxford comma. So a lot of people getting quite irate this week over many things, but one thing in particular was the misuse or the lack of the Oxford comma on the new Brexit coin. Isn't it amazing what people become irate and angry about? At the moment, people are complaining about Doctor Who. They don't like Doctor Who now. So they said, oh, Doctor Who is cool, but now they don't like it. You can't please people sometimes. Sometimes it is very hard to please everyone. Even though sometimes I do try, but as they say, if you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. Which I think is a pretty good thing to mention. Leave. Here's an interesting word. A lot of people are talking about this word as we prepare to leave the European Union. Yes, we are all saying goodbye to Europe today as we prepare to leave the European Union. The European Union, we are saying goodbye. Although, to be honest with you, I didn't vote for it. So for those who are wondering, I actually did not vote to leave the European Union. I voted to stay because I didn't really understand it. And I have the courage, I have the strength to say that I didn't fully understand what the effects would be. So I thought I would be cautious. So I voted to remain. I did not vote to leave. So there you go. I'm sure some people will hate me for saying that. However, some people might like me for saying it. But that is the thing about living in a democracy. Everyone has a vote. I like it. So leave, an interesting word. To leave is to be somewhere and then suddenly you decide that you don't want to be there anymore. You leave. You leave. Very interesting word. Another word you can use, I think this has something to do with the French language. I'm sure Lewis will tell me. Depart. So when we say depart, It means leave, you depart, you go away, you leave, you depart. Quite often when you leave the room, we might say that you depart, you go somewhere else. If you leave to take a long journey, we can say that you depart. Maybe if you are catching a plane, or maybe if you are waiting for a train, you are waiting for the train to arrive, and then you will get on the train, and then the train will depart. It will go away. It will leave. Here's an interesting one, quit. So I suppose you can use the word quit as a way of saying leave. So you might stop doing something, and part of that means leaving. So if you quit something, you might say that you are no longer doing it, you have decided not to do it anymore, and you have decided to go away or leave. You quit. So you might say that the UK has decided to quit the European Union. It is no longer a part of it. It is decided to go, leave, quit. Here's another one. A lot of people using this word. Oh, exit, exit. You will see this word quite often, especially in buildings where there is a door that is designed for you to leave through. Exit. So exit means to leave, to go, to escape. So I suppose also you can escape through an exit. If there is a fire in a building, quite often you will look for the nearest exit, the nearest way out, the nearest point of leaving, your exit. So this is why we have the word Brexit. So Brexit is just two words joined together. So the British exit becomes Brexit. Hello to the live chat. Don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. The new coin seems to be a little bit of an oxymoron. Don't you think so? Yes, the wording on the new coin does seem a little odd, especially if you are leaving somewhere, if you have decided to have a divorce. It's a little bit like sending your ex-wife a present just as you get divorced. Hello, darling. Yes, I know we are getting divorced. We've been married for 20 years, but now we hate each other. Here is a special gift, so you can always remember our lovely divorce. Maybe not. So yes, I do think it's strange that people are wanting to commemorate or remember Brexit occurring. So it does seem strange. Please, Mr. Duncan, can you make a lesson about the history of the English language? There is a lesson on my YouTube channel all about the history of the English language. It is actually on my YouTube channel. So yes, there is one. I've already made one. So I might mention that on Sunday, because I am talking on Sunday about my new website. The new website will be available from this Sunday. Oh, wow. Yes, it would appear that this year is being very challenging. I think so. Words and expressions to do with leaving. You might get out. If you get out, it means you go away, you leave, you depart, you decide you don't want to stay there anymore. You get out. You might tell a person to get out if you don't want them around anymore. Maybe someone is annoying you. Maybe a person is in the same room as you. Maybe you don't want them around anymore. You will say, "Oh, for goodness sake, get out. Get out." You tell someone to go away. Or, of course, you might get out yourself. You decide to leave the room. You decide to get out. The UK decided to get out of the European Union. Another one. Go away. You decide to leave, you go away. A lot of people say this to me. They say, Mr. Duncan, go away. It's not very nice, is it? So if you leave, you depart, you decide to leave the room, you go away, you leave the country, you go away. Maybe you leave for a short time. You might only go away for a few days. So if you go off on holiday, we can say that you go away, or you have gone away for a few days. Go away, you have gone away, you have left, you have departed. Sometimes we might leave in a hurry. We might not hang around. So if you leave in a hurry, if you leave quickly, we can say flee. You flee. You run away. You decide to run away quickly. You don't want to wait. You don't want to hang around. You don't want to stay there any longer. Maybe you are trying to escape from someone. You might flee the scene of a crime. You might flee a fire. You might flee from a fire. So if your building is on fire, you will flee. You will run away as quickly as you can. Please, Mr. Duncan, don't go away. OK, then I won't. I will stay for a little bit longer. We are actually, yes, we are counting down. There it is up there. We are counting down before Brexit occurs. Tonight it is happening in just under 8 hours from now. We will be leaving the European Union. By the way, if you want to get in touch with me, you are more than welcome to do so. I have an email address. You can follow me on Facebook as well. Did you know that? Did you know I also have a Facebook page? I do. And from Sunday, I will have my own personal website. Ooh, yes, very nice. It's lovely being here today, I must admit. I have missed you. Yes, I've missed you a lot. I have really missed you a great deal because I haven't been on regularly because I was feeling a little ill. I had a cold. Fortunately, it wasn't anything serious. Definitely not serious, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. Hello, sweetness. If you flee, you run away. What about bail? Bail. Yes, that's a good word. Bail. You might bail. It means you leave quickly or you depart in a hurry. You might jump out of an aeroplane, or you might jump off a ship or off a boat. You bail out. So bail is to leave in a hurry, quite often from something such as an aeroplane. You might jump out of the aeroplane with a parachute. You must always have a parachute. I can't stress that enough. I am following you already on Facebook and also Instagram and YouTube. Thank you, Christina. Not many people follow me on Instagram, to be honest. I'm not a big Instagram person. Mainly because I'm not good looking enough. Apparently, I've been told that only good looking, handsome men are allowed on Instagram, or sexy young girls, unfortunately. And I am neither of those things. Neither. I did try. I gave it a try. I decided to take some photographs of myself pouting. Apparently that's what you're supposed to do. If you take a photograph of yourself on Instagram, you're supposed to pout. As you can see, I can't do it. Not very good at it. Mr. Duncan, you are not a Brexiteer. I am not a Brexiteer. No, I am the other one. I am a Remainer. However, I'm not an extremist. I don't run through the town screaming and shouting, telling everyone to stop Brexit. I'm not one of those, so don't worry about it. I'm glad to see you here, Sudhir. Hello, Sudhir. Nice to see you here today. We are counting down to Brexit. Today is the day when we officially leave the European Union. Will it be a good thing? I don't know. Will it be a bad thing? I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. Hello to Anna Rita. Hello, Anna Rita. Nice to see you here as well. Corrie says, to tell the truth, French people didn't vote for Europe some years ago. Oh, really? Yes, I believe in the past there has always been some disagreements within the European Union over the way money is spent, or maybe certain laws, and the way in which each country has to make a contribution towards the European Union. So there are many things that people disagree over. However, and this is just my opinion, I know I shouldn't give my opinion, but I'm going to. My opinion at the moment is that we probably should have stayed in Europe after all, just because of the way things in the world are changing. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So maybe safety in numbers is a great phrase. If you stay with lots of people in a certain place, you will find that you have more power, you have more influence. However, if you are just one person, alone, wandering the streets, you might not get the help you need. Hello also to Awad. Hello, Awad. Nice to see you here as well. Hello, Beatrice. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Better late than never. I have just connected with your class. Thank you, Beatrice. Nice to see you here as well. If you leave in a hurry, you might make off. Make off. If you make off, it means you leave quickly. You run away. You leave quickly. You make off. Maybe you are in the process of robbing a bank and you have the money in your hand. You will make off with the money. So quite often when we report a crime taking place or something that has taken place in the past, we might say that the robbers made off with lots of cash, or they made off with jewellery. So to make off means to run quickly away. Make off. Here's another one. You might abscond, which means to vanish without trace. You suddenly disappear. So you leave somewhere, you escape from somewhere, you suddenly vanish. You have left. You have gone. You abscond. You have absconded. Absconded. A very interesting word. Would you like to have a dance in the puddle? I must admit, I haven't had a puddle dance for a long time. So just to cheer us all up, just to make us feel a little bit better today, because things, let's face it, things in the world at the moment are a little bit crazy, to say the least. A lot of people ask for the puddle dance, so there it was, the puddle dance. I hope you enjoyed it. For those who want to send a donation, by the way, because I had some complaints, Mr. Duncan, we couldn't see the address for the donations. So here is the address now on the screen. If you want to send a donation, don't forget I do everything here for free. So I'm here 3 times a week live. I'm also building a new website with lots of videos and information about the English language. So if you want to send a donation, a small donation or a large donation, if you have just won the lottery, maybe you've just won a few million on the lottery, you can send a little bit my way to help this continue so I can carry on doing this forever and ever and ever. So there is the address. I will not give you the address of my new website until Sunday because it's not available at the moment. I haven't published the website yet, so it hasn't appeared yet. We will have to wait. So I will be back with you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. Scarper. Oh, I like this one. This is a British English expression. So if someone runs away quickly, they will disappear quickly. We might say that someone will scarper, or they have scarpered. So to scarper is to leave in a hurry. You run away quickly. You scarper. Quite often used in British English. I like this word. Very interesting. Sudhir is here. Nice to see you here. Oh, we have new viewers. Oh my goodness. Lil Malika. Hello to you. Hi, it's my first time to watch your channel. Hello to Lil Malika. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I suppose I should give you a round of applause for that. Welcome, Lil Malika, to my YouTube channel. I hope you are feeling good today. I will be going soon. We've had a lot of things to talk about today. We talked about the coronavirus. We talked about the Oxford comma. We talked about my experience with SARS in 2003. We even talked about Brexit for a while. So lots of things to keep you going until the next time we are together here on YouTube. Lots of things to keep you happy. Oh, by the way, Steve will be here on Sunday. For those who are missing Steve, I know a lot of you are. A lot of people say, we miss Mr. Steve. Well, Mr. Steve will be with us this Sunday from around about 2:30. Oh, Mr. Steve, what are you like? What are you like? Mr. Steve's birthday, by the way, next month in February, just around the corner. February is coming. It is Mr. Steve's birthday, and I've decided. Now, I might not be able to pay for this. I might have to buy it in little pieces. But this is something that caught my eye the other day, and I think this would be a great gift for Mr. Steve. What do you think? So here it is. This is the thing that I think would be perfect for Mr. Steve on his birthday. Look at that. Now, I like that. I think Mr. Steve would love that. That is a toilet that will lift you off and also help you sit down. So I like that very much. Look at that. Shall we have a look at that again? Because I think that's pretty cool. That is. That really is. I like it. Let's have another look. It is a modern toilet that will help you to stand up and also to sit down as well. So I think this would be a great gift for Mr. Steve for his birthday next month. Because, well, let's face it, Steve is not the man he used to be. He's getting old, just like all of us. I will be going soon. Soon I will run away. Did you see what I did there? Soon I will be running away. I will depart. I will leave, because it is almost time for me to go. So if you run away, it means you depart quickly, in a hurry. You do not wait. You run away. Oh, here's a good one. You might break out. Break out. So if you escape from somewhere by force, maybe you break out of prison, or maybe you are being held hostage and you break out of the place in which you are being held. You break out. It means you escape, you get away, you leave quickly. You escape. Escape. Again, I like this word, escape. You go, you leave quickly, in a hurry. Soon I will be escaping. I will bolt. Have you heard of this word before? The word bolt means to leave quickly. You run away in a hurry. You leave fast. You bolt. Bolt. I like that one. You will make tracks. You decide it's time to leave. You make tracks. So this is a phrase that we use to mean leave. It's time for me to make tracks. It's time for me to say goodbye. It's time for me to leave. Here's another one, a very interesting phrase. Fly the nest. If someone flies the nest, you fly the nest. You leave home. So maybe you are a son or daughter and you decide it is time for you to leave home. You have to go out into the big wide world. You fly the nest. So this is a great expression that means to leave home. So you are no longer living with your parents. You fly the nest. You leave home. Don't worry, to the live chat, I haven't forgotten you. I have not forgotten about you. Run away. Mr. Duncan, is it a Japanese toilet? I'm not sure if it's a Japanese toilet, but I do know that it's a cool toilet. It is to help Mr. Steve when he wants to sit on the toilet, so it will help him to sit on the toilet. So I think this would be a brilliant birthday present for Steve. I don't know what you think, but I think it would be a wonderful gift for Mr. Steve. I bet it's really expensive as well. I bet it is. Head for the hills. If you head for the hills, it means you go to another place, another area. You move away. You might head for the hills. You might go somewhere far away where you can't be found, where you can hide away. You head for the hills. Or it can just mean leave. You decide it is time to head for the hills. It is time to leave. You can also make a break. You decide that you don't want to do something anymore. You want to go away from it. You want to depart. You decide it is time to make a break. Perhaps you want to end a relationship that you've been in for a long time. Make a break. You make a break. You decide it is time to stop. Broken Boy says, Mr. Duncan, this live stream is so long. It is a long stream. Yes, sometimes my live streams are 1 hour. Sometimes they are 1.5 hours. Sometimes they are 2 hours. Quite often on Sunday, the live stream is 2 hours. And don't forget, every week I am here Sunday, Wednesday and Friday from 2 p.m. UK time. Soon I will make like a tree and leave. Soon I will make like a tree and leave. It's a joke, apparently. For those who watched Back to the Future, you will know that this is a joke that is included in the movie. So you make like a tree and leave. That's it. I am out of gas. All of my petrol has gone. I am now running on empty. Hello to Flower. If it is a gift for Mr. Steve, you should not use it. Well, what do I do? How do I go to the toilet? I have to use it as well. Have you ever done that? Have you ever brought a present for someone? Have you ever actually bought a present for a person and you actually want it for yourself? I've done it a few times, actually. In the past, I have bought things for Mr. Steve as a gift, but really, I wanted it for myself. Thank you very much for your company today. Yes, we are counting down as we prepare to leave the European Union. Yes, just a few more hours, 7 hours and 37 minutes before the UK leaves the European Union. What changes lie ahead? No one knows. What will happen next? No one knows. Will things be good or bad? Will things get better or worse? Nobody knows. No one knows. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Sweetness. Thank you also, Anna. We are back on Sunday. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Anna says the toilet is for old people, not for Mr. Steve. I think it's the same thing, isn't it? It is. And on that insult, on that terrible insult, I will leave you. Thank you, Mog Mog. Thank you also, Flower Espoir. Can I just say, please, wherever you are in the world, stay healthy, stay safe. Until the next time we meet here on YouTube. And of course, until Sunday, I will be back with you on Sunday. And of course, on Sunday, no more European Union. We will be independent, whatever that means. So maybe I should be waving this on Sunday. What do you think? Should I wave my flag on Sunday? Or maybe it is a bad idea. We will see what happens. Thank you very much for your lovely comments today. Yes, the new website will be available on Sunday. For those who missed it earlier, I did give you a little look at my new website. So I hope you will like it and I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then YouTube will be nice to me instead of being all mean and horrible. I will see you on Sunday. That's it. Definitely time to say goodbye. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks a lot. Thanks Palmyra, Flower, Joanne, Moody. What time on Sunday? 2 p.m. UK time. Every live stream is at the same time. Very easy to remember. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. UK time. And that's it. This is Mr. Duncan saying thanks a lot. Thanks Anna, Nesta, Marina, Mogmog, New Win. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Lana. Nice to see you here today. I hope I will see you again on Sunday. This is Mr. Duncan saying yes, definitely, for the final time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, Europe. Goodbye, Europe. We will miss you. Some of us will miss you more than others. Of that, I am quite certain. And of course, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.